Dear reader, I meant to write to you earlier, but the world intervened. The infinite forces of the universe kept the letters from getting to you. I'm writing to you to discuss something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I come bearing some hypotheses. But I must offer some context for my current position to be rightly illustrated. My Hindi teacher in 6th grade, whom we affectionately called Nanima, gave us an extended assignment. We wrote letters to our friends following the prescribed format that we had just been taught, and then we were asked to physically mail them. So the next morning, my dad drove me to the post office to buy me my first postage stamps. We put my letter in an envelope that Nanima had graciously provided, wrote the recipient's address, and dropped it in the post box. I've sent many letters in the many years since then. Quite a few of them have been lost to the complex machinery of the global postal system, but I regret the letters that I have lying inside my writing pad or floating in my mind unopened. As an introvert with complex fears about the judgment of others, I've often found communication through text messages, sticky notes, or long form letters to be much more supportive of my way of thinking. Rambling letters that drift from one thought to another, regardless, satisfy my desire to express myself without the pressure of speaking up face to face, especially when it comes to delicate matters or profound ones. Maybe that's why, during the last semester of college, I started writing short letters to some friends of mine in college, acquaintances actually, people that I thought were cool but also intimidating because of their sheer brilliance. I wanted to tell them how much I wanted to converse with them. I made a list of whom to write to, and I started writing and hand delivering them one by one. In the process, I communicated, reconnected, and got closure with at least some of them. But I wasn't fast enough. There's still a few weeks to go till the end of college, I thought. This is February or March of 2020. Everyone was stuck inside or had left our college town in a hurry, and something happened that made it impossible to ever send that next letter. I wasn't able to reach out to one of them, someone that I respected and I found to be so. Maybe they needed to reach out to someone as well. The road's getting too hard. Some years later, I was writing a letter to my grandmother, but it didn't feel right to write her a letter in English. She'd appreciate it more if I made the effort and wrote it in Marathi. But I wasn't comfortable writing anything original in my mother tongue because I had almost abandoned it after school. But I was working on it. So the letter sat around in a pile of scratched up rough drafts, and I was unable to send that one again in time. Letters can really help communicate the feelings that are difficult to express in person. They can also be a way for you to respond to something important after careful thought as opposed to an instant response. While emails can work as replacements for letters, handwritten letters can hold on to a bit of the spontaneity of in-person conversations. As I have learned from my unsendable letters, all letters don't need to be overthought, overwrought pieces of literature or journalism. Sometimes a quick postcard or a sticky note with a few words is enough to tide you and the receiver over. I have done a lot of soul searching through letters as well. Long emails to friends discussing our fear after a terrorist attack or natural disaster. Letters to mentor myself through big life changes or personality changes. And yes, letters that were never meant to be sent at all. Sometime in the past, I developed a crush on one of my closest friends. And I tried to ignore it, but the anxiety attacks were becoming debilitating. So I wrote long letters to open up to them about it. Every time I ended a letter, I felt great and unburdened, so I never did send them. But after a while, everything would come back up. Okay, this doesn't look like the route. Should go check a different route. Finally, after a sleepless night, I wrote another letter. I realized that the past letters were written with the express intention to line my drawer, so they weren't very honest. They made promises that were not possible to keep, or I tried to cover my bases by responding to whatever handful of reactions I could imagine. But most importantly, they didn't allow the receiver. They didn't allow the receiver much agency in how they would actually react. The day after that sleepless night, we went for lunch, and I basically read them the letter. We talked about it. They read the letter again, and we talked some more. The crush persisted for some time, and we wrote letters to each other to keep processing things. With time, things moved ahead, and the crush went away. We continue to be great friends to this day. But there's something important I learned from this whole experience. After reading the letter, they asked me if they could keep it. And at first I said, no, of course not. It's my letter, my vulnerabilities. The response was something to the effect of the letter only belongs to the writer till they sign their name to it. Then it belongs to the recipient. I think that I agree. I don't remember which of us has it currently, but it's theirs and they can have it and do whatever with it if they like. Handwritten letters occupy physical space. They're non-fungible. One and only copy of a handwritten letter can ever exist. Its possession, its fate, its state is important, unlike emails that can be countlessly reproduced. A handwritten letter carries the words along with the physical ink that adheres those words to the paper. With every word you write, you burden the paper with a little bit more ink. The paper is your messenger, carrying your hand to the recipients. And like my friend once said, once it's signed, it belongs to the receiver. The sender is left with just a memory and maybe the expectation of a reply to hold on to. See, the letters I've received from friends tell half the story of our relationship, as does the other half that lies in their possession. The practice and art of letter writing is dying, or at the very least, fundamentally transforming. Please continue to use instant messaging for day-to-day communication, but resort to letters once in a while. I hope you find the value in writing and sending letters too. So let's all do an exercise just like Nanima had us do in 6th grade. Write a letter to your friend. Heck, write to 20 of your friends, family members, strangers. And here's how you do it. Start with Dear so and so and just keep going till you run out of paper or ink or things to say. Whoever it is doesn't care about the spelling, grammar, or handwriting. Lord knows we don't handwrite much at all these days. Your letter is not going to be perfect. It's not meant to be. Write an afterthought in the margin or use postscripts. Write down songs to use as a background score while they read your letter. Doodle all over it if you'd like. No need for novella length, emotional vomit for your first time. Start with a single page. Actually, what the heck? You do you. The first few times mention that you'd love to get a letter in return. Most friends will oblige. Give them a link to this video for the steps. Sign your name, put it in an envelope, glue it shut. Go to your local post office. Google where your closest post office is. Buy some stamps and let it go. If all of this seems like too much trouble, give it a try regardless. In emergencies, letters can be hand delivered too. Just a small warning though, letters can sometimes get misplaced. Think of them as offerings to the universe. Write one more. A bigger warning though, letter writing is contagious. Soon you will be looking for excuses to write a letter to every single person that you rub shoulders with. There's also a link to a Google form in the description. You can sign up for a one-time only handwritten letter from me. Thank you for watching. Your friend, Pradyumna.